Gas coming forward now. Nobody down there for Lavington. The ball bounces in front as Garvey. He was tackled when not in possession. He hangs onto the ball. Now gets it out. It's punched away this time, but it's well followed up this time by Jackson. He's put one up into the air. It's really an up and under, and it's Jones in front. Marks at the end of the first quarter. And Jones it is who takes the mark there for Wodonga to relieve the pressure in the end of the first quarter. Well, back here for the second quarter of the Ovens and Murray Grand Final 1987, and umpire Ian Clayton has the ball. Having a look around, a few changes too in the Lavington lineup, and we'll try and pick them up during play as Copley's gone on to Garvey. Up goes the ball, favours the Wodonga end, actually knocked out by Wegener, kicked off the ground there by Cassidy, taken this time by Copley. He's passed it down towards Valenti, one-handed up, couldn't handle it, taken away this time by Wallace. He kicks it out to the half-back flank, leading in the race for the ball this time. The Wodonga defence led by Garvey again, and Garvey it is, out on the full. And the umpire, I had a look around, I thought he might have been tackled a little bit late, but umpire Rosetto firmly said it was out on the full, and now umpire Bull is coming in to dictate to the Wodonga player on the mark, B. Smith. Hamilton with the ball. Richard Hamilton kicks it across to the full forward position. In front was Wilson. His head was just about dragged off. Taken by Smith, a left foot snap, and it's, let's wait, to goal. So a snap there by Smith has given the Lavington side a little bit of lift, but by gee, the cheerings must be right over the other side, Merv, because there's nothing around us as Lavington move to their first goal for the match, and that comes around about 31 minutes into the game.
Yes, Graham, and it's probably a replay coming up now as we see Rossi Smith, a good snap, and that's got hopefully Lavington in motion. Been a few changes. I notice Pendergast has gone back to centre half back on Salinger as we wait for umpire Brian Bullis to bounce the ball, sets the game in motion. Brilliant knock there by Wegener. He's playing very well, Wegener, in the ruck. And
there's another change. Stevens is on the half-forward flank.
Yeah, and he's just got the free kick too. So chance for Stevens to he could possibly kick this. He's played on straight away. He's given the ball to Gould. One of Gould's long raking left foot punts. Put it in the pocket. What's happened? Oh, is there a mark? No, there's not. The ball's still in play. Couldn't find the ball in from
it. It's a scrum, I think.
And the ball's been forced out of bounds as umpire Vinnie Hoffmeyer throws the ball over his head, puts the ball back into play. Ball hits the deck. Copley goes for the ball now, and once again we'll probably see the ball forced out of play. Was that Copley? No, it wasn't. Smith. It was young Smith who kicked the last goal for Lavington. The ball forced out of play, and we're in the dead pocket over there on the Lavington end of the ground. Big punch then by young Bevan Cox, and once again the ball's forced out of bounds to the forward line. We've had about a minute and a half of nothing here at the moment, and as we wait for umpire Vinnie Hoffmeyer, who's certainly earned his money in the last minute and a half, throws his third ball in over his head.
Well, of course, we better tell the viewers too, Merv, that Lavington this time kicking to the right of screen, Wodonga to the left of screen, and the wind's blowing really over towards that side of the ground, so that's why there'll be most of the play will be long distance as it's over that side. It looks as though it's out on the full, Merv.
Yes, well, umpire Bullis, I think it was, has found a free kick. Johnny Collins sets the ball in motion. Hello, we've gone forward again here, and Johnson forces the ball forward. Stephen Murphy, it is a big long kick into the forward line, and here's Bear Allen, just too big and strong, couldn't control the ball. Nearly got Pendergast then. Pendergast forces the ball out wide.
He nearly got him. Well, he was still trying to take the third grab.
Well, there's one out the back of the hand. A dribble kick by Ernie Whitehead. It's evaded all the players and gone through for another goal to Ernie Whitehead as he runs back to the centre with a big grin on his face. And that was a freakish goal, that one. It evaded about 4 or 5 players.
Where's the replay of it, mate? I'll tell you what, there was a fella playing over there, over, what is this, Madonna, is it? No, that's the singer. Maradona.
Yeah.
Got him. I missed the arrow bit. He would have been proud of that one himself.
Well, the bounce of the ball sets him in motion again, and Alba's playing a very quiet game here, but he's got the ball out of the centre for a change, forced it forward, but once again, there's Roger Cordy in the back line, a rocket bowler for Wodonga as he bangs it out to that man at the moment. Look at the hands on this boy Garvey as he finds Brendan Smith. Brendan Smith, another big kick into the forward line, and once again, there's young Boxer McGee playing a great game for Wodonga. Forces the ball out on the half on the attacking forward line and half forward flank, and once again Turner, who's played a very, very fine game for Wodonga, who's playing in the forward pocket, And they got is it Salinger at full forward or Bear Allen at full forward? Graham Bear Allen at full forward with Ray Mack on him as we wait for David Turner again to post major number 5 for him, and this will be his first goal in the second quarter.
He's on his wrong foot.
I don't think that'll worry him one little bit.
I'll tell you what, I'll have a little bit of your money. Okay, you can pay later. It's pretty hard for a left footer with the wind the way it's blowing at the moment. It would have gone against any hook that he had. So
4 goals, 2 to Turner, so he's playing at 6 shot, probably 6 kick at this stage. But certainly he's one of the problems that's causing Lavington.
There's only about 8 eat-off out there for Lavington.
Big kick for Barney Brown, nearly finds the ball into the centre of the ground as Collins there gets it over to Ernie Whitehead again, who's playing a major role on the half-forward line. Here's a chance for Cassie, but Simon Bone, far too quick for him. Nearly a free kick there to Boxer McGee. Call play on by umpire Bullis, and the ball's been forced out over there on the Wodonga Place side of the ground.
The hospital pocket.
Hospital pocket? Ask Bobby Craig about the hospital pocket.
Yes, getting back to the seconds, he didn't look too good when he came off. Right, the game's back in, and it's a pretty scrambly play at the moment. There's a lot of free kicks in there, but the umpire's quite rightly letting it go. Bullis it is who let that one go, and there's a kick now, a snapshot, and I think that one's through too for Wodonga. That one was David Turner, so he's got his 5th. The left footer, and that time he did the right thing and certainly whipped around Bador. The defensive Lavington's ragged.
Gee, Graham, it's pretty hard to keep up with all the changes that have been made, but like you pointed out a while ago, Stevens is now on the half-forward line, and I think, God, there's a great tackle by, great recovery there by little Spud Johnson, and here's one of David Gould's very few kicks. Big, long, raking left foot into attack. Dean Valenti under the ball then, and it's been forced out there by Jeff Jones, and we'll see another throw in. As I said a while ago, the ball being forced over the boundary over that side of the ground a lot because the wind is very much prominent over that side of the ground at the present time.
I wish one mum and dad would take their kid home here. He's sat in front of me 3 times and we're 7 foot off the ground. He's a tall kid. Right, it's over again. Lavington this time under pressure as it's Johnson again. He goes for a pass this time out to Copley. Copley a little nudge over Garvey. Here's a battle of 2 champions, but the ball's jammed in somewhere underneath and Copley's trying to get up. The umpires let it go. Good play, umpire, because they lost the ball for a moment or two. Stanlake dummies around, passes over towards Gould. He's handled without the ball. Play on, says the umpire. It's a scrambly passage. Cannon gets the ball, kicks a big one up. There's only one player here, and that's Wegener, who takes a chest mark of about 10 metres on the attacking side of centre for Lavington. Wegener, a big left footer. Can he put a big one through this time towards the forward line? It holds up in the wind. Valenti, it is, flies over the back, couldn't handle it. Down it comes to Ralphie Albers. He's on his right foot and pops it around, and it's gone through. And there's a belated goal for the Lavington. Oh, 1 point. The umpire right under the flags, and it's only 1 point to the Lavington side, so that brings them to 1-3-9, trailing Wodonga 10-6-66. Well, here's 3 Wodonga players on their own. The ball's kicked out by Cannon towards Jones. Jones passes nicely up to McGee, and McGee takes a chest diving mark as he passes it this time in the direction of Salinger. Salinger it is. Oh, play on. It didn't matter anyhow. Cox over to Bone. Bone's been one of the great little players on the ground. He has a long shot, and it's through. There's another one for Wodonga. Simon Bone showing all the talent of the Bone family.
We've got too many of the good players down. Elvis is struggling for possessions. Cassidy, I don't think, has touched the ball. And young Brendan Smith is doing a great job on Richard Hamilton. So they've really cut their prime movers out of the game. As we see Stanlake then gets it over across to Copley. 2 Wodonga players collide with each other and don't look very well either. As we see probably Lavington's best player at the moment, young Wegener.
He's done well.
He's got the ball from about 40 metres out.
Oh, there's 15 metres, umpire.
Don't think so.
No, he just saw it at the last minute. He decided to line up. That's what cost Melbourne the big one. Oh, here there's... It's well done, Wodonga. Hit the post. Well done, because the umpire let them go. They were battling each other. It was really 1 for 1. And it's another point to Lavington, making them 1-4-10.
Yes, as I said, I think Wegener is about... Hello, what's going on up down the other end?
Oh, we've got players on the ground at the left. At the other goals, we've got now... Wait on, what's happened?
They've held up play while there's a bit of a barney on down
Both umpires have headed up there, so... Oh, no, it's all right. Ray Mack was just
checking.
Somebody
stood on the umpire's foot, and he's doing a hop, skip and jump.
Umpire Brian Bullis, the taller, the fair-headed one, to the right, and umpire Clayton's walked in. He's having a chat there to Pat Salinger, but I think
I think at this stage, Graham, what I'd do, if I was Lavington, I'd bring Peter King on to try and give him some life into the forward line.
Well, if they didn't get life, I'll tell you what they would get. They'd get some determination and also the fact that Peter King's 120%.
Well, they haven't got any crummers down there at the moment, and while they haven't got any crummers, they just can't convert. And I think what they need is somebody that's going to prepare to put the pedals under the pack.
So there's an interesting thing. The reason that they had to run both, the umpires had to run both down to the bottom end, is the umpire at the bottom end was out breaking up the brawl, and he couldn't wave the flag, so the poor guy at this bottom end was left. But the game's gone on, and over towards the club room side of the ground with the wind, and oh, come on, fellas, there's some guys here making some pretty strong suggestions about what they should do.
It's a game to play out here, Graham, isn't it?
It's the basic way to be in the outer, and it's gone over the far side, and Craig Cleary held when not in possession. The umpire should give him a free kick, and does too. And it's Craig Cleary over in front of the Albury Football Club club rooms, who's going to put Wodonga into attack again. He goes for the short pass, this time looking for Whitehead. He couldn't handle it. It's over to Wegener. Good handball, Wegener. Over to Hamilton. Hamilton goes for a long one down forward. It's Wilson who's going to come around the back and couldn't handle it. Over to Albers. He's on the left foot. Oops. He gets around well. It's a right foot. He's just... that's all the luck you need. Lavington just can't do a thing. 1-5-11, trailing Wodonga 11-6-72 in what has been really, at this stage so far, with 12 minutes of the second quarter gone, a pretty one-sided affair.
Yes, it's certainly not Lavington's day when you see Albers dummy around two players like that. He's too good a player to miss those sort of goals, and he's hit the post right fair and square in the middle. As Glenn Cannon now comes in, brilliant kick, beautiful kick out to the forward line. He's found Bear Allen, magnificent kick, and he's found Bear Allen on the Wodonga play side of the ground, the half-back flank for Wodonga.
Move, an interesting point. I've got 9 players listed down here, and they're all Wodonga, if not better players. I haven't got one from Lavington as yet. I'll put Wegener in as 10.
Fair enough. Pat Salinger now puts the ball in up forward, and there's Stephen Murphy taking a mark over Ray Mack, and there's Murphy, who is a really handy player to have sitting in that forward pocket, Graham. And you know, they just can't do much wrong at the moment, and they're just too big and strong all over the ground.
There we go. Now we'll have a look at that mark again, and very, very clean cut in front of Ray Mack there.
There's Murphy's shot, and he just cuts the top.
Just dobbed it through. 12-6-78 Wodonga. Lavington 1-5-11. What's umpire Clayton back in the centre. Bounces a perfect bounce. Up they go. Wilson got the tap out. Down comes Smith, who's now roving. He passes out looking for Albers. Albers couldn't handle it. It's hit down towards Jones. Jones with a big one back towards the half forward. No, it's a free kick down the ground. The frustration showing out in the former Morris medalist and Victoria New South Wales representative Ralph Albers, as he just in frustration pushed him out. And it looks as though we're going to have a change too as they come up towards the goals. It's Simon Bone in a chance to get the ball, but it's knocked out by Johnson. He's hung on to. Play on, says the umpire. Handballs it out to Smith. Oh, that was funny there because Smith went for the ball, the handball there to Gould. Gould wasn't interested. And he actually pushed the Wodonga player Whitehead out the road, and it's ended up in a ball up because the players have just dived on top of it and hung onto it in the forward pocket. Oh, Smith and Garvey, not... it's Robert Brown.
He just came on from Copley and gone straight on to Garvey, Grant. And
he's letting him know that I'm here. My name's Robert Brown, my number's 8. I play for Lavington. Right, so it's going to be the boy who's... Oh, and over the top, he's trying hard. Garvey's gone in very solidly and given away a free kick. Down goes Whitehead. And by gee, the young boy has certainly got a fair bit of power.
He's been sent out with a mission.
Oh, good on him too. He's certainly roughing them up. I mean, Ernie must have whipped in there and said it wasn't your free kick, and he said it was.
It was pretty fired up.
The power of speech knocked Ernie over. Whitehead though with the reverse free kick, and he's going to have a long shot. It looks, it's a wobbler, and it's gone through the points for a point to Wodonga as they move to 12-7-79. Lavington 1-5-11, and well, we better keep our eye on number 8 for Lavington.
I've just been watching Robert Brown. He's going to take on the world by the look of it. He said, well, if they can't do it, I'm going to do it on my own.
Right, well, it's Craig Barton kicks the ball back towards the midway between centre half back and the centre. Prendergast taps it over. Brendan Smith taps it back. Cassidy gets the ball, kicks a wide one down to the ironic cheers of the Wodonga Wodonga crowd that are all around us, but they've certainly put pressure on as Collins gets it back to Wallace. Wallace with a long handball this time, a little bit long for the player out there. Oh, nobody wanted to play the ball. This time it's McLeish, the experience of the 37-year-older. He pushes it out in favour of Wodonga. They're still playing on with handball. It's Bone who's got the ball. He kicks it back, and here's a chance now for Wilson on his own. Just, on the far side of centre, and centre half back, really, and it's Wilson with... Oh, Ernie Whitehead's given it... The umpire's called Ernie back. He managed to run about 13 metres, and that was about the end of it. Good mark to David Gould. Over the top of Jeff Jackson. Long handball. Over this time to Troy Williams. Ooh! Over the top it goes. Down it's knocked out this time by Cox. Has a chance for Valenti. He's tackled. We're not in possession. Oh! The umpire put the whistle to the mouth and then decided to let it go. And it's Cannon who gets the handball back out to the far side. Is it Collins who's got the ball? Beautiful pass from Collins over to Turner. And Turner it is in front of Barton. He'll take the ball, and well, I thought maybe Lavington just a little bit unlucky that time because Valenti was battling away, but the umpire had the whistle up, took it away, and Wodonga has certainly capitalised on the allowance off, and they've got the ball down there with Turner. Has gone for the short pass, and there's no worries at all. It's Johnson underneath, but he ran into Cassidy. Here's a chance for Salinger. No worries at all. McGee's kicked another one. Easily. Hand pass from Salinger to McGee. And away we go with Wodonga going on to 13-7, 85. Lavington 1-5-11 in possibly what would be the biggest margin that I've seen in Ovens and Murray football in the last 8 years.
Back into the game now, we see Garvey, and he's one of the players that are really tearing Lavington apart at this point of time.
Well, it's a free kick to Troy Williams up there for a high tackle by Jeff Jackson, and Lavington really need to get something on the half-forward line because they're getting the ball to it, but that's as far as it goes. Here's a chance. Well, it's going to be 3 Wodonga up. Bear Allen, who was grabbing the mark, and he's played on. Handball's out to Jackson. Jackson gets the ball across there to B. Smith. B. Smith gets the ball back to Ernie Whitehead. Whitehead balks one or lost the ball from Cassidy. Cassidy it is who gets the handball out, but only to Brendan Smith, who was backing up well. And Smith it is across to Craig Cleary on his own on the half-forward flank, and demoralised is probably the word for Lavington at the moment. There's a pass across to Salinger, and he's taken the mark around about 25 metres out of goal. With a chance to bring up the 14th goal for Wodonga, and it's really just a one-way ticket at the moment. Pat Salinger.
Here's a move that we're waiting for. Peter King's coming onto the ground now, and
Ross Smith, I think,
Rossi Smith coming off the ground, yeah, and Peter King might install a bit of life into the depleted Lavington side at the moment.
Right, well, as we were talking there's Peter King going across the ground, being picked up by Mel Wallace, and it's going to be a 1 point to Wodonga to take them to 13 goals 8 to Lavington 1 goal 5. The ball going back towards Craig Barton, who's now kicking out for the Lavington side. Barton looking for a lead. There he goes, straight up the middle. It's mostly Wodonga. Bear Allen's there in front of Wegener. 2 taps to Allen, but taken away. McLeish taps it out to Smith. Smith across to Collins. Collins it is onto the right foot, pops it back towards Whitehead, and Whitehead in front couldn't handle the ball. Taken away by Troy Williams. He's knocked his own player over. They're just getting in each other's road, and it's down across to Brendan Smith over the far side. And Lavington, as we said, they're just demoralised at the moment. They just can't do anything right, and it's going to be B. Smith to bring the ball back to centre half forward, and no worries at all. Bear Allen on his own. Allowed to run away from Mark Stevens. He kicks a long one, and here's Boxer McGee going under it, all off the chest, bounced once and tapped over by young Johnson, who's a goer. He's had a go, Lenny Johnson, been there all the time, and he put the pressure on Boxer McGee, although he shouldn't have dropped that one move.
No, I thought, although he's running with the flight of the ball, it's pretty hard to know what's coming as we wait for Mel Constable to throw the ball over his head and set the ball back into play. Ray Mack gets the knockout, but he hits it straight to Cleary, and Cleary has a shot for goal, and unfortunately for Wodonga,
David Turner dropped the mark,
and it dribbled through for a point. So we put that one down for a rush, Graham. But
put it for a rush.
Put it down for a rush. Craig Barton bringing the ball back into play, then straight down the middle of the ground. That's about the only thing that he can do for Lavington at the moment. David Gould nearly takes a specky, but unfortunately missed. And there was that man again, Garvey, forces the ball into attack. There's Cleary, gets it out to Simon Bone. Simon has another snap over his shoulder, and has he put it through? No, touched right on the line.
Well done, too.
By Spud Johnson, is it?
Yeah, it looks like Spud, and he did that well. He got back into position. They tried to shepherd him out, but he put the pressure right on.
Craig Cleary now. Craig Barton brings the ball into attack for Lavington, but it's all Wodonga out there. Johnny Collins takes a chest mark, And every time that Lavington go forward, it's either one of or anybody across the centre line that's really tearing them apart.
Well, it's Craig McMillan with the ball as he kicks it back down towards the side where Wegener and Collins are there. Wegener's in front, Collins sitting on top of him. The umpire says play on. Bear Allen is there. He handballs it back this time, looking for Collins. Gets it out too. Collins balks around. Now passes it short to Craig Cleary. All knocked away. The umpire let it go. Albers across to Cassidy. They've got to start getting some directness in as he gets it over to Gould. And there's a run on now for Lavington. Gould it is. He's a big kick. He's at the 50-metre mark. He's had a long shot. And that's a good kick by David Gould. Great play, Lavington. They earned that one. Started off there with good play by Ralphie Albers to Cassidy. Down then to David Gould. And they've only got to give him the ball within 50 metres. And he'll most certainly give them life. That's the second goal on the board as we see that goal of David Gould's again. Here's the pass from Cassidy over towards Gould. There's the line right underneath him now as he gets to the 50. And it's a long kick and it's a long floater and it floats right down and bounces nicely through for a goal at the Norriel Park end to Lavington to take them to 2-5. And that would be 17 to Wodonga 13, 10-88.
Brian Bullis puts the ball back in action here at the Albury Sports Ground, and we see the ball forced out now to young Brown. The boy who came on about 10 minutes ago, and there's Peter King, fumbles, and the ball forced out now, will be forced out by Richard Hamilton, the Morris Medal winner. Been very quiet play today, and young Brendan Smith has done a great job on Hamilton, who I think has been moved to the half-forward line now to try and give Lavington some impetus in that area. Ball back into play from that out-of-bounds decision, and Stan Lake there seemed to be held without the ball, and the ball will be forced out again by Cleary, and Hamilton and Cleary collided there as the ball went over the line.
I'd say what, I would have liked to have been boundary umpire Risotto.
Right in the thick of things there.
Or Risotto it is, isn't it?
Right, we wait for the boundary umpire to bring the play into action again, and Stan Lake in the ruck. Steve Murphy pushes Stan Lake in the back, and Stan Lake will get a kick a fair way out, probably about 50 metres out, but on a fairly decisive angle here. Will he have a shot? Nobody leading up forward, so he's got no alternative. He's going to line them up. As I say, he's about 50 metres out from goal, lining up. The wind blowing across in front of him. The wind has got the ball and has taken it over to in front of the points, and of course the ball will be forced out of the line over in that dead pocket over there with Glenn Cannon, who has probably been Wodonga's better player in that back line, being forced out of bounds on the over there with the boundary umpire Hoffmeyer just about to throw the ball in. We wait now as Stephen Murphy and Wilson do battle. It's taken away there by good play from Jeff Jones. He forces the ball up to the wing. There's Roger Cordy playing a good game also for Wodonga. He forces the ball up, but it's Jeff Cassidy playing a kick behind the game. Although he might be playing on the half-back line, he gets it over to Barney Brown. Barney Brown controls the ball well, forces the ball into the centre of the ground. Too high for Stan Lake. Stan Lake pushes it forward where it's McLeish there in the thick of things for Wodonga, and we'll wait till the dust resides, and we'll wait for umpire Bullis to put the ball back into motion.
It's umpire Brian Bullis to bring the match back in again, and he bounces it up. The bounce favours the Lavington end, but it's going to be Mark Stevens. Couldn't handle it. All hung on to was Dave McLeish, but got away with it. Gets the handball out this time to McGee with that style. He passes it across looking for Troy Williams. Williams is disposed of and gets a free kick for in the back, and I thought that was pretty fair. The barrel did get over the top of him. Williams, who's really been another battler for Lavington towards Richard Hamilton, and he stands there and waits for it to come down in front of Steve Murphy. Richard Hamilton.
Wodonga making a change in front of his ground. They're just about to bring young Darren Harris on. At this stage, they haven't decided who they're going to bring off.
Well, it's Cordy who's taken the mark down there, and the big fellow certainly started off, was named on the fence, but Roger Cordy's done exceptionally well over towards Boxer McGee. Here's a chance now for Garvey, and no worries at all. He outmanoeuvred his opponent at that stage, Robert Brown, and Garvey it is who's going to get 15 metres, and Garvey's going to play on. It does too. You can see this boy playing for Carlton, no worries at all. Ray Mack over the back. The bounce beats everybody. It's pushed through. It's knocked out this time by Lavington, but it stacks on the mill. And umpire Ian Clayton who's going to take control of the game, and it's right at the centre half forward position for the Wodonga side. Wodonga leading 13-10-88 to Lavington 2-5-17, and the game really slowed down in the last few minutes as we come to the time on period of the second quarter. Down it comes. Barrel Whitehead, couldn't control it over the back. This time, Elpson, he's gone backwards 2 steps, but beautifully passed out. The umpire says the Wodonga player held when not in possession, and it's John Collins, the former St Kilda and North Melbourne player who originated at Wodonga, who's going to have a shot for goal. He'd be around about probably 45 metres out, Merv.
And I'd say the wind has died well as he goes back to take his kick, Graham. I was just looking at the flags on the other side of the ground. The wind has dropped completely, and Collins puts the ball right in the square. We're looking for a big mark here, and we've found one. There's the difference between the two sides. Pat Salinger just chipping in the back of the pack there, and he takes a good strong mark for Wodonga. And look at the alternatives they had there. Bear Allen, Salinger, and they're just too strong all over.
Just have a look at Jeff Cassidy. He tries to back Salinger out, but Salinger just nicked around him and picked that one up.
Wait now for Pat Salinger, and he's put that one straight through the middle.
14 goals, 10-94 to Lavington, 2-5-17.
Good, beautiful bounce by Bullis. Big knock there by, it gets to Barrel Whitehead, goes out to Brendan Smith. Brendan Smith finds, no, couldn't find Turner in that exchange. The ball goes to Craig Barton, but he forces with a long handball out onto the half-forward line, hoping it would go out, but it didn't. It looks like Craig McMillan there, just gets the ball over to Gould. A nice big long raking left footer by Gould, gets them down onto the wing. Big flight there by Brendan Cox, it looked like. Mel Wallace couldn't control the ball, and the ball looks as though it's going to be forced out over there on the Wodonga Place side of the ground, just into attack for Lavington. Really struggling into attack at this stage, not getting any drive at all from Stan Lake and Valenti, their key position players in that area. And we see now Lavington come away again through the agency of Jones, it looked like that time, and a brilliant mark then taken by young Craig McMillan. But here's Garvey again, comes over the back of the pack. Peter King was on the ground for Lavington. He forces the ball forward to Valenti, and Valenti will take this mark on about the 40-metre mark. It's the first time I think that Valenti has been able to get away from Glenn Cannon since about the first quarter, and Valenti lining up for a chance to score Lavington's third goal. And here we watch as Valenti comes in, allowed for the breeze, and he's pierced the uprights. No, he has not. It's been touched right on the line, and
he
good
did
defence.
pierce them, unfortunately, off the hands move.
Good defence there by Wodonga, as we predicted that one a little too soon. We wait from, and they go to 2-6 Lavington to Wodonga 14-10. The ball being forced back, and Simon Bone takes a great mark. I thought it hit the ground first, but Simon Bone, who's been certainly one of Wodonga's better players, very speedy little rover, and he forces the ball forward up into the Wodonga forward line. Good play there by Cassidy. Cross to Hamilton. Hamilton forces the ball forward. Stanlake not handling the ball clean. He comes across here to Pendergast. Young Brown, who can't control the ball. Knocked forward there by Bevan Cox. Brilliant play there by Cox. That's confidence for you. The ball goes over to David Gould. Dummies around Barrel Whitehead. Sends the ball forward to who's that? Wilson, who's not having one of his better days. Over there to Peter King. He's tackled with the ball, and the umpire says throw it in. Boundary umpire Hoffmeyer.
Dr. Piquet that time really crunched as the ball just made the boundary line. Tapped out this time by Murphy. A big tap up towards Gould, but it's going to beat them over the line, is it? No, it's taken by McMillan. He gets a short kick in towards Jackson. Backing up well as Whitehead. He gets a long handball up to Smith, who's been in everything really on his own all day. And Smith, it is a pass up to David Turner. No risk. And David Turner at about 52 metres coming back to, well, it's right on the 50-metre line the umpires brought it back to. And David Turner with a chance now to bring up how many goals for David this time, Merv? He's gone for the short one and found him. And it's Darren Harris who's on for Wodonga. Yeah,
Turner's kicked 4 goals, Graham. We're at the 30-minute mark, actually going into the 31st minute mark of this second quarter. So I'd say this would just about have to be the last kick of the quarter. Darren Harris it is. Just come off from interchange for Wodonga. Lines up for their 15th goal, and has he pierced it? No, he has not. He's just offline, and he kicks the ball through the behinds to give him his first score for the day, young Darren Harris. And the score now reads Wodonga 14. We wait for the umpire. 14-12 to 2-6 for Lavington. The ball being brought forward into the ground again by Barney Brown, and it's forced out here to Boxer McGee. McGee gets it across there to. It looks like Johnny Collins. Collins with a little chip kick in, trying to find Brendan Smith, who's, in my book, Wodonga's best player. Gets it back to Collins. Collins drives it forward again. Who do we see there? Nobody there for Wodonga. And Ray Mack, who's playing at fullback, forces the ball through for another rush behind for the Wodonga side.
They were there, Merv. They just had a lot of opposition. Lavington seemed to have an extra player in defence, really trying to stem the tide. At the moment, Barton kicks it looking for Wegener. Pendergast it was, and Pendergast it is in front of Murphy. Gets it over towards Cassidy. Cassidy goes for a short pass down to Stevens, and when Lavington looked good, the siren went, and the score at half-time, Wodonga 14-12-96, Lavington 2-6-18, and really you could say a stranglehold at half-time, Merv.
Oh, no doubt about that, Graham. They've kicked 8 goals in the first quarter, 6 in the second quarter, to Lavington solitary 2 goals, and I'd say it was good. The game is well and truly over, even at this early stage of the game.
Welcome back again, and Merv King, there's not much you can talk about the first half, but the third quarter was, at least that's coming up, is a little bit more exciting for Lavington supporters.
Well, as you've seen from that first half, Graham, 8 goals in the first quarter, 6 in the second quarter, and obviously Lavington have got to make some wholesale changes in the second half, and which they did, as you'll see in the next half coming up. I think, in fact, they put their half-back line on their half-forward line.
Well, we did see Pendergast went down to forward, and had he been able to kick straight, it would have been a little bit better, but he certainly livened it up. Mark Stevens ran around a little bit. Ray Mack at centre-half forward, and even Troy Williams was down on the forward line following the ball. So Lavington just had to do anything, and they did in the third quarter. They kicked 6-6, 6-5, wasn't it, to 6-6, and it was a pretty even quarter.
Well, this is a bit of a comeback from Lavington this next quarter, because they kicked, as you say, 6 goals in this quarter. And it reminds me back in the school days where you didn't change ends at quarter time, and that's virtually what's happened at half-time. They've just moved the whole of the defence into the forward line to try and give them some bite up there.
Right, well, there's the things to look forward to in the second half. We'll be back after this break with the third quarter.
Back with the third quarter here of the Ovens and Murray Grand Final, and the point is, how far will Wodonga